You guys know what deforestation is? It's pretty common sense. Um, According to nationalgeographic.com, deforestation is clearing Earth's forests on a massive scale, often resulting in damage to the quality of the land. Forests still cover about 30% of the world's land area, but swaths the size of Panama are lost each and every year. Since this is our only planet, and even though we have probes out in space looking for planets where there's life and we can probably move to, this is for now the only planet we have and the only planet we can live on. So it's only fair that we treat it with as much respect as we treat everybody else. Deforestation is something man-made, but it's also something that nature does on its own. But considering the fact that we do this for more space, it's only reasonable for us to take responsibility in what we're doing and to help stop deforestation as much as possible. First, I will speak about how deforestation hurts the environment, and then I will speak about how and why it's caused, and finally how we can help prevent or stop it. But first, let's talk about how deforestation is harmful to the environment. So when deforestation happens, there's many ways you can do it. You can cut down the trees, you can burn them, or you can just do a lot. You can uproot them and everything. But when you burn them, there's an increase of carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is hard to get rid of, so it just stays up in our ozone layer and in the atmosphere, and it can stay there for a while. It can also trigger severe floods because when there's rainstorms, when you take away the trees protect everything. They protect the water from flooding and just destroying communities. So when you take trees away, there's no protection. And then there's just a whole bunch of water running down that can also cause mudslides. And when mudslides happen, it can destroy communities, homes, it'll just ruin everything, and it's cost a lot to fix all of it. You can to also help stop deforestation, you could plant trees to make you feel better, but trees that live in cities don't live as long as the ones that live in the forest or in the rainforest. The ones that live in cities only live for about 13 years compared to what they could live if they live out freely. So essentially, we treat forests with less respect than we would of our own pets. On this website called treefacts.com, it says trees grown in city conditions often do not live as long as trees grown in their wooded environment. They'll just die, and I'm pretty sure that trees can get diseases just like we can. And what happens is they hollow out from the inside, and then they just die. So that happens to a lot of trees, that happens in cities. Now that we're informed on how deforestation works, how deforestation affects our environment, let's talk about how and why it's caused. According to the journalist Deborah Blanca on the website How Deforestation Works, for the most part, human activity is to blame for deforestation, although natural disasters do play a role. There's no real reason why people cut down and burn trees. It's just why. There's no reason why. When you cut down trees, this carbon dioxide stays in our atmosphere. But the most common reasons why we cut them down is for agriculture, for communities, or for industries. For agriculture, when you want to start planting something, normally they cut all the trees down, they take out the bark, and then the soil that's left is rich soil. It's filled with nutrients, so they use that until they can't use it anymore. And once it's stripped from all that nutrients, it takes a while for it to just get back to how it once was. For communities, oftentimes they just destroy a whole forest so that they can start putting houses there and schools and all of that stuff, so people can start living there and taking away the beauty of it. And industries is pretty self-explanatory. They do the same thing to put a factory there, and then when they do a factory, sometimes the toxins can just stay in the dirt, and when they're done with that factory, it still isn't the same. They can't grow any more trees anymore. we've just talked about how deforestation happens. Now that you know a little more about deforestation, let's talk about how we can help prevent it. On www.mnn.com, stands for MotherNatureNews.com. Jen Savage says, one easy way to combat deforestation is to plant a tree, but you can take it a step further by making sure that the choices you make at home, at the store, at work, and on the menu don't contribute to the problem. You could always recycle. I know that there's a lot of recycled paper, recycled notebooks, recycled everything, even reusable ink, which is pretty cool. But you could use that. One thing that they're trying to encourage farmers to do is to rotate crops. And that's basically, instead of planting one crop here and then taking away another land, they're encouraging them to plant every crop in that same plot of space. And another way is by reforestation. So deforestation is to cut away all the trees, so reforestation is just to plant more. So if for every tree lost, we could plant every 1 tree or every 2 trees, just to ensure that we can have trees in the future, not like on the Lorax where there's fake trees. And you could always, one way we could help that is really much is to be an advocate. To be an advocate, we can just talk about deforestation, why it's bad for our earth, and how we can help prevent this from happening any further, or it happening to where it's just our trees become extinct, or animals that live in the trees become extinct. So to wrap it up, we have learned a little more on deforestation and how we can put an end to it. The reasons for deforestation are endless. There's no real reason why, but together we can help stop it. Remember, while deforestation hurts the environment, it is up to us to stop it. There are plenty of causes why it happens, and there are plenty of reasons why. But there's still numerous amount of things that we can do to prevent it. According to www.howtoprevent.com, if we're not careful, the breathtaking presence and all the biodiversity that comes with the rainforest and other woodlands will cease to exist. It's just something to think about. Don't crack trees either, it's bad. Good night.